Welcome everyone to this video, which is the last video slash lesson of week 1 of AIA. At least right now, it's the last lesson. Maybe we'll add more lessons. We tend to do things like that. But at this point, this is the last lesson, and we want to talk about what is the appropriate lifestyle that breeds success as a whole, as well as when you're starting from zero right now, where you are right now. What are the steps that you need to take on the lifestyle side of things? This is something that can't be ignored as well, because it is simply incredibly important. Okay, I've seen people fall and crumble because they could not create the proper lifestyle for themselves. Okay, so let's get into it. We'll be talking about how to create a lifestyle that propels you towards your goal instead of holds yourself back. I have experienced this before, and we're going to be explaining that in a little story. But let's get started. Now, as you have seen so far, there are many aspects that go into a full life transformation. It's not just about making 1 or 2 changes here or there. It needs to take over your entire life, and your lifestyle habits are no example. So we're talking are no exception, sorry. And we're talking things like what you see right here. Number 1, which is really what motivated us to make this video, is the idea of lowering your personal expenses. Now, I won't talk about it. We'll get into it later. Number 2 is having a simple personal life. Number 3 is creating an incubator environment for yourself so that you can thrive towards your goals. And then I had to add this right here. We won't talk about this, but I need to say it. Bonus, you need to work a damn job if you need money. If that's what you need to do, get a damn job. I just know it depends what type of person is going through the program, but I know there are some people that think they're into the whole online business entrepreneurship thing. They've maybe made some money at some point, but they're not doing well by any means. But they've gotten the idea that they're too good for a job. Oh, I don't do jobs. I'm an entrepreneur now. I don't work jobs. I'm an entrepreneur, so I don't do that. But if you need money, you need a job, because you can't just snap your fingers and make money in a business when you're struggling.
Look, I know exactly how you feel, because I felt the exact same way, where it's a rite of passage. Everyone has to go through that phase, no matter how much you hate a job. You need it to produce money that you can then invest into your business. Yeah. Or else, where's it going to come from? Mm-hmm. You have no other choice. And you have, because I've seen it so many times with friends and other people, other students in the course, they won't get a job just because they hate it so much, but they also won't have money to invest into their books and their business. So instead, they'll be living at home with their parents, super lucky to have that opportunity, but they'll be like figuring out ways, like, I don't have any money, okay, let's write my own books, and then they try, and then they just make no progress, but they just don't have it in them. They can't, sort of, like you said before, they're too good to get a job, so they just won't do it. They hate it so much, they can't make that sacrifice. They just do it.
They don't identify as someone who works a job anymore. And this goes back to the idea of instant gratification again. They cannot suck it up for later. And let's take this a step further. If you're already working a job, but you're not saving up enough money, you need more money. We'll talk about what to do in terms of lowering expenses. But another way to have more money is just work more hours. Okay. Of course, there's a balance between working on your job and working in your business. And we can talk about this at another point as well. When's the right time to quit your job and just have publishing?
And this is also exactly what we were talking about before in terms of sacrifices and instant gratification. The instant gratification is not working more hours and going home. The delayed gratification is working more hours so you have money to invest in your business. Because that's the exact same thing.
Working the job will actually help you towards your goals. But that was the quick bonus thing. You had to throw that in there because some people need to hear that message, that you're not better than a job. You're actually a massive, gigantic loser. You're actually a huge loser, because you can't sustain yourself and you need a job, but you won't get a job. Anyway, let's move on. So what we have right here is a picture of a restaurant. This is where the story comes in real quick. I'll be quick about it, but this is in Bali, where we spent 6 months living in our Bali villa. And what it says right here is most people are living a lifestyle that is holding them back from their goals. And we experienced this briefly. Luckily, it wasn't for too long. We experienced this when we were living in Bali, and we were paying a lot of money. Do we have a picture? No. I'll put a picture on the screen of the villa we were living in Bali. And without us knowing it, it was actually holding us back from our goals, because it was financially putting like a leash on us. It was taking away our financial freedom. And I didn't realize this. I didn't think that us putting a lot into something like a villa was actually holding me back from my goals. But the reason the picture is there is I was sitting in this exact restaurant. It's called, what's it called again? Asia Kempur, yes, down the street from where we were living. And I was sitting in the restaurant, and I just had the epiphany, because I've been stressing out about money, because that villa was so damn expensive. It was over $4,000 a month to pay for, which is just expensive, $4,000 US.
That's $4,000, not revenue. That's after profit, after taxes. That $4,000 a month.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah, and we lived there for over half a year. It was just money wasted. Granted, we could film YouTube videos in it, but that was about it. And what I realized was the money that was going into the villa instead was not going into the business. I remember thinking like, if we didn't have the villa, if we had this extra amount of laid over cash laying around, we could put it into publishing, we could put it into ads, we could put it into these different things and make way more money. So our damn villa is the reason why I'm not going towards my goals as fast as I could. Our damn villa is the reason why my business isn't growing as much as it could, and it's something that's holding me back.
And we're taking complete responsibility for it. We're not putting the blame on the villa.
It was completely our fault.
But we're just realizing that
It was completely our fault.
That was not a good idea for us to do. And we learned from it. And now we know.
It was completely our fault. It was sitting in this restaurant. Since then, I realized, damn, I can slash my living expenses in half and be way more happy. Way more happy. Because living expenses does not correlate with your happiness. I would way rather save the money, and then that makes me happier. It gives me less stress instead of trying to live in this expensive place. We experienced it ourselves, and that's why it's important to talk about. Don't live a lifestyle that holds you back from your goals, like it did for us, only for 6 months, luckily. But it's something that eats people up. It'll eat people up. They just don't save their money. And this is actually an interesting quote here. A prosperous lifestyle gives the illusion of security while actually making you more fragile, weak, and vulnerable to any unexpected changes. And this is exactly what we were living. We were living in this massive villa. It's not, we didn't run out of money or anything like that, but it was just not as financially stable as financially comfortable as I wanted it. So it seemed like
I didn't have an unlimited budget on ads like I wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't have an unlimited budget on ads. So the prosperous lifestyle made it seem like it was amazing, but in reality, this lifestyle that looked great was stopping us. Was one of the reasons why we couldn't grow as fast as we wanted to.
It was making us more vulnerable to unexpected change.
Definitely more stressed, definitely more vulnerable, weak, fragile. If anything went wrong, we were vulnerable because of it. So, here's a scary quote that I read online. This is actually scary. Most Americans are 1 or 2 missed paychecks away from their job from financial ruin. Not tough times or temporary penny pinching, utter financial ruin. That should terrify you. Holy moly. We lived this for a period of time before we got into online business related. When we were like 18 to 20, we were living paycheck to paycheck, just being extremely naive teenagers. But the fact that a lot of people live this way, it's extremely risky, and I don't know what you're doing.
When people get, let's say, a raise that makes them $1,000 a month extra in income, they will then increase their living expenses by $1,000 a month. And it'll be some stupid shit like car, who knows?
Again,
anything that is cool at first and then loses interest very quickly. And therefore, they don't have more money than they had before. They're not increasing their wealth. And this happens consistently all the time. This is an identity related issue again. When you get a $1,000 raise at work, you suddenly think you're more the man. You suddenly think you're $1,000 a month more of a stud, and you need to show everyone. So you think you're a big shot now, and then you need to show it off more. And like I said, it eats people up. It's another instance of saying no to instant gratification.
Yeah.
You want to have the things now. If instead, save the money, use it for better good for your business and whatnot, that money will multiply
10x,
exponentially years down the line.
1000x down the line.
And then the delayed gratification feeling will be like nothing you could have imagined.
Yes. So let's talk about how to fix up your lifestyle so that you can best position yourself for success. And the low-hanging fruit in this situation is to simply reduce your expenses. And this is now this is the big change that we went through in the past 6 months. 6 months-ish since the Bali situation.
What we're going to mention now is the low-hanging fruit that is an easy way to reduce your expenses.
Yes.
These are the easy ones.
Yes. Well, I'm saying the low-hanging fruit is reducing your expenses.
Okay, well then it's a double meaning here. Let's tackle the low-hanging fruit. That is the easy ways to reduce your expenses.
So with that said, the way we live now is our income is as high as it's ever been, and it's only going to grow exponentially from here. Yet our expenses are as low as they've ever been
since we moved out.
From home.
Since we moved out.
And that is a recipe for riches. Okay, so lowering personal expenses, the first thing you should do when you want to increase your finances, which is why you joined this program, the first thing you should do is focus on lowering your expenses. That has an instant financial impact. If you want to talk about instant gratification, don't spend money and you'll instantly have more money in your bank account 30 days later. It's unbelievable.
Instant gratification financially. Not in terms of lifestyle. Yes.
No, financially. So figure out how much are you spending on personal expenses per month right now. I bet you can cut it by 50%. Now that is an ambitious goal. It's supposed to be, but a lot of people can cut it by 50%. That literally just means an extra, I don't know how much in income per month by doing literally nothing, just by getting rid of things, which will in turn make you more productive, more focused, more disciplined, all these other things, because less in a lot of cases is actually more.
Every dollar that you save is a dollar tax-free profit that
Yeah.
you instead could have made, but it's much easier to save instead to get that extra income.
Save $1,000 in 1 month, put it into a book that can make $300 a month on average for 3 years. And I don't know what the math is there. 300 times 36. Is that $10,000? 9,900 if my math is correct. No,
Yeah.
that's over 10,000.
Yeah, something like that.
That's over $10,000. Like you need to have that big picture perspective here. Now, how can we cut personal expenses? The big one is to downsize the big three. Number one, the first one being rent. Listen, that had a massive impact on us. Like, could literally cut it in half. Boop, like that. Boop, like that. Then the next ones are food and car. Food for us, we don't spend that much on food, just groceries and stuff. Then a car, I've never had a car.
Food is something where
Never
I don't,
had a car.
When it comes to food, I don't like to penny pinch. I just like good food. I'm not spending a lot, but I'm not just eating ramen and noodles.
Yeah.
Ramen is noodles.
We
so.
don't have to do that, but yes. Then number two is, this one I love more than all the others. Stop buying anything you don't need. And I mean that literally, not like figuratively. I mean literally. No more shopping. No, I'm an anti-shopper.
Look, until you reach a certain point where you can do it comfortably. That's what we mean with all this.
Sure, but even then, who cares? Well, what's comfortably? $10,000 a month?
To the point where it's like pennies.
Okay.
Yeah, like
So,
that.
okay. I mean, yeah, at some point, yes. But none of us are there.
No.
Stop buying anything you don't need. My girlfriend, when I met her, she definitely had a shopping problem. I remember we had conversations about she didn't think she could change. She's like, I can't change. This is who I am. And that especially bothered me because my entire life is predicated about making massive amounts of unbelievable life-changing change that you didn't think was possible. So I went from a nobody, loser, quiet to I'm pretty damn happy with where my life is right now, on a good path. I think I'm going to go a lot further. And then she thought she couldn't just lose her shopping habit. So things have changed now. I'll tell you completely. Now she's an anti-shopper like me.
Yeah,
so
look
you
at her
can
now.
change.
Look at her now. You know how easy that was for her to change?
So easy.
Even though she built up that identity, she's like, I'm a shopper. I'm a shopaholic. That's just who I am.
Now she's an anti-shopper like me as well.
And that changed within a few months.
Yeah.
From I am this to I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
People think they can't change.
And because of that, she was making a lot of money at her job, but she wasn't saving a lot of money because she was spending it all. But then now she doesn't spend. Now she saves money. But anyway, stop spending your money on stupid shit. Okay. Be extremely aware of every purchase that you make. Do you need it or do you not need it? If you don't, then put it back. Okay. And I have this quote at the bottom. It's we love this quote so much, and it's just so damn important that we're gonna drill it into your head. By the way, if we're repetitive about things, we do it on purpose because repetition builds stronger in your brain than hearing something once. So what it says, if you aren't willing to make sacrifices for your goal, your goals end up being the sacrifice. Damn, we said that a lot of times now, and it won't go away because I left it at the bottom here. So next is to have a simple personal life. This is lifestyle related as well. Save hanging out with the friends and family for the weekend. Monday to Friday is your time to work towards your goals. Just make that your life. Make that your life, okay? And one of the best skills you can ever develop is the ability to say no. Saying no to people is an extremely profitable skill to have. It's really good. And you start doing that, good things happen. Next is to protect your time and save it for the things and people that really matter. Now here's a quote that I like. It's simply, the less you hear from me, the more I'm doing. And this definitely applies to us. Considering we have some social media presence, when you're not hearing from us, it's not because we've fallen off the earth. It's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
It's because we're making so much damn progress that we don't have time to say anything about it on social media.
Right. From the outside, it kind of looks like, oh, they're slacking. Oh, what
They're
what are they
falling
doing?
off.
Oh, they're just enjoying their success. And that, like, no, the exact opposite. I'm in my cave working and not spending time posting and talking about it.
No, exactly. And then if you're hearing a lot from someone on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, it's because that's what they're doing.
There literally isn't time. They have 24 hours in a day. If they're spending it all on social media, they're not working. That's for sure.
If they're doing daily YouTube videos, making that YouTube video is what they're doing every day. Okay?
It's not to say it's a bad use of your time, but
Some people, it's what you want to do, but it's just a small part of what we do. Next is to create an incubator environment. You want to create an environment that will feed your goals. The exact opposite of what our villa was doing for us, which was holding us back from our goals. And for 99% of people, this is a case of addition by subtractions. Just remove things and your environment suddenly becomes that much better. Just remove things, whether it's certain people, whether it's social media accounts, whether it's distractions, whether it's things that you consume. Remove them and suddenly your environment just turned that much better. And then in terms of an online environment, the Facebook group is your online community for everything that you need publishing right now. The Facebook group, I just can't say enough how amazing it is. And then the quote, you become an average of the 5 people you hang around the most, is so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
And it just is. So do make it a priority to spend your life with the right people. Don't spend it with freaking bums and people who are going to hold you back, because you're capable of so much more.
Certain people that will influence you in a very positive way, that are rooting for you, and they want the best. They want nothing but success for you. They're not jealous. They're nothing but supportive and positive and on your side.
Yes. Now, here is an option that we want to give to people if you're really serious about changing your environment, okay? Now, I'm being completely serious about this. If you feel motivated and ready to jump all in, you'll do anything you really want change in your life, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. This is going to be big. We already did this, so we can tell you all about it.
Yeah.
So there's a few options. First one is move to Chiang Mai, Thailand. Literally, pick up everything and move to Thailand. This is actually how we got started with our
Online business life.
digital nomad traveling life. That was the first place we moved. We moved from home, living with our parents. We were in Chiang Mai, Thailand the next day and living in an apartment. And the reason why Chiang Mai, Thailand, there's a picture of it. That's a picture in the mountains. The city doesn't look like that. But Chiang Mai has a massive community of people just like you, people striving to become sustainable online, build their own life without the necessity of a job paying them, creating their own income.
Chiang Mai has everything that we just talked about. The people, the environment. There is a high volume of people interested in online business. You can have super low expenses, living expenses, and live a high quality life at the same time. You don't even have to live in a bum shack and pay $200 a month. You could pay $200 a month and live in a really nice studio apartment.
A place like Chiang Mai has all these 3 things just laid out for you. Low personal expenses. You'll be disgusted by how cheap living in Chiang Mai is. You can live for under $1,000 a month easily.
Oh, and live great.
Yeah, you live great. I mean, the cost of living compared to America is about 25%. 1/4 of the price. Just divide by 4. That's a good estimate of what things will cost.
Yeah. So a meal, instead of costing $10, will cost $2.50.
Yeah. And then a simple personal life. Yeah, you go there. You won't have anyone to hang out with. You'll make some friends, and it'll be good people because it's people with the same goals as you. And then next is an incubator environment. It definitely has exactly that. Getting away from all the distractions and giving yourself an environment that will help you move to your goals. So if you're serious about it, do something like that. Message us, put a post in the Facebook group. Like,
Yeah,
if you want to shock yourself into change, do something like that. It'll never do anything bad. It'll only give you experiences that you will learn from and become better. I just can't recommend doing something crazy like this enough to people.
Right. Is this something you want to do? Make a post about it in the Facebook group, and then we can all talk about it. Me, Christian, everyone else. Because there's a lot of other people in the group that either live in Chiang Mai or the next place we're going to talk about, or want to as well. Maybe they're too scared. But if you can move together with someone, oh my God.
Crazy. Now, we only spent 3 months in Chiang Mai, but Chiang Mai is freaking awesome. Now, this next idea is or you could move to Bali, Indonesia. Bali, we recently spent 7 months there. Bali is like a kind of like a Chiang Mai on steroids, so a little bit more expensive, but I'm comparing it to Chiang Mai. It's about 30% or 1/3 the price of the U.S. Then it's still insanely cheap.
The price of food in Thailand is like unparalleled anywhere, so food is not quite as cheap, but as a whole, comparing to the first world, Bali is so incredibly cheap as well.
Yeah, and then it's by the beach. It's beautiful. The people there are more serious, I would say.
Yeah.
Or people in Chiang Mai are serious as well, but more serious vibe.
I think there's higher level entrepreneurs living in Bali.
Yes.
And the Balinese people are so nice and amazing. And
so nice.
I love Bali. We lived there for 7 months. I loved it so much. And we'll be back in the future to visit and stuff.
So many people to connect with. And again, incubator environment, super cheap living. Simple. Actually, this place will not have a simple personal life. That's the one thing, because personal life is like a big deal there. That people love to hang out, go to the beach. So that might cause distractions, actually.
But you can easily say no. But there will be the temptation.
Just say no, but the temptation will be there. In that case, Chiang Mai would be better if you really want to get away and just get to work.
And also, guaranteed fact, someone in the AAA Facebook group is definitely living in Bali right now. So if you want to meet up with others in person, Bali's a great place for that.
Specifically AIA people, for sure. There's probably multiple people in Bali right now. So yeah, they're both in Southeast Asia. The thing with that is you can live well on less than $1,000 a month. Like if you have $5,000, you can go to Chiang Mai or Bali, although you can't invest much into your publishing business. So that's the downside of that. I would like to have a job feeding it. But if you have like 20K saved up, quit your job, go head first into it, create a do or die situation,
and don't look back.
And don't look back. So cannot recommend that enough. It's a great experience. Simple personal life in Chiang Mai, not so much Bali, and then incubator environment. And now onto the conclusion. Your lifestyle, creating a lifestyle that serves you instead of hurts you, it's really just about sacrifice. How many times have we talked about it? But that's really what it is. It's just about sacrifice. So, guys, that's the end of this lesson. Comment down below your thoughts right now, and we will see you in week 2.
Well, that also wraps up, week 1, unless we choose to add more lessons. That means next we're going to be diving headfirst into publishing itself finally. We've talked about all the foundational stuff that if you can understand everything we've discussed so far and implement it, guaranteed success 100%. I can say that so confidently without even blinking.
Oh, yeah.
Not now, do the things we've already said, and then implement the publishing stuff, and it's so easy.
Comment down below what you thought of the entire first week, and we'll see you in week number 2.